Bowers Game Corner presents Gencon Video Bonanza 2015. Brought to you by Gatekeeper Games, makers of The King's Armory, Thunder Track, the new sequel to Turbo Rally Card Racing, and the generous support of our Kickstarter backers.
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back here today for more of our Gen Con Bonanza Explosion Blog coverage. We're here live at Gen Con 2015. It is, you don't need to know what the time. I was about to tell you what time it is. We are in the first exposure playtest hall. This is where dreams get playtested to eventually become realities. And we're with Joel talking about Guild Quest. So what is Guild Quest, Joel?
Guild Quest is a cooperative deck building game where you create a team of adventurers to fight against monsters in dungeons. You will buy new abilities through gaining XP while fighting the monsters. You'll get loot to help the group. What happens is the group has 3 quests that they have to complete. If the group can complete all 3 quests, that get progressively harder as the game goes on. They win the game as a group. It's an all or nothing thing, so if the group all gets wiped out, they lose. You can start over. And it's a great thing because you can kind of adjust the game based on the amount of time you want. You can do less quests or more quests if you want a longer or shorter experience. And it kind of gives you a mix of that deck building strategy with the fun of a role-playing game where you don't really have to have a GM because all the monsters are controlled through game mechanics. The main one being a threat mechanic. Everything you do creates threat, and the monsters will always attack the person with the most threat. So you can kind of do as much as you want in a turn, but the monster's going to hit you a lot harder if you're the person that's angering it the most.
We were actually talking a little bit about this earlier, but this has one of my favorite mechanics in that, in the co-op. This is co-op where people can die, but they're going to come back to life, correct? But you might be the last one left alive fighting a monster. How does that work? The death, all that good stuff.
So basically, if you get down to no life, you get knocked out for the battle. You do come back at the start of the next battle, but each person that dies is going to make that much more of a strain on the team. You have a healer, you have a tank, and you have a couple damage dealers. So if one of your damage dealers dies, your team's going to be doing less damage. It's going to take you longer to kill the monster. If your healer or your tank dies, that's where things start to get really tricky because you're not going to be able to heal people back up, and you're not going to be able to take the hits anymore. So it's you really have to work together as a group. Every piece is important, and once you pull one of those pieces out, things start to fall apart. It's been done. You can get some crazy combinations in there to squeak your way through some victories, but it gets a whole lot harder.
And this is 2 to 4 players, correct? Do you have any idea about play length or when potentially it might be seeing Kickstarter in roundabout?
Play length for a team that's familiar with the game, for the average length game, we're finding about an hour to an hour and a half. A little longer than that on your first playthrough. And if you're the group that likes to role play and talk about things more, the games get longer. But if you're sticking straight to the play, it's about an hour and a half. Kickstarter, we're looking early next year. We're looking at getting the art commissioned right now, layout, design, stuff like that. So we want it to look real good. We don't want it to look like a cheap game. So we want people to be really happy with it.
Very, very cool. Anything else in particular you want to mention before we head out that maybe you forgot to talk about? Anything?
I don't think so. It's going to be, well, I guess the one cool thing about the game is there are going to be numerous races and different classes. So it will have a lot of replayability. We'll have 8 races and classes in the starting game, and you mix and match those, which give you a different play, different feel for every game. So you'll have different groups, and it should never feel stale, and we're hoping to continually add new races and classes to the game.
And what's the name of the company, or where could people possibly, if they're interested in this, get on this early so they can learn more about it?
The company is Argyle Games. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much any social media. Just look up Argyle Games, and you'll be able to find us.
All right. Thank you very much, Joel. That is Joel with Guild Quest. Right now, it's at the first exposure playtest hall. Who's to say maybe in a year or two, it might not be being sold in that big exhibitor hall over there. That's what I love about the first exposure playtest hall. I've seen so many go from here to there. It's just really, really cool. But if you're enjoying this Gen Con coverage, please be sure to click on the subscribe button down below. And in the comments below, let me know, what is your favorite class to play in fantasy games? Me, personally, I like to be the guy just beating the heck out of everything. I don't want to have to worry about tanking or healing. I just want to go up while the tank's doing his thing and just start slashing. But what do you think about it? Yeah, the question I asked, which I just forgot. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.
Bowers Game Corner presents Gencon Video Bonanza 2015. Brought to you by Gatekeeper Games, makers of the King's Armory, Thunder Track, the new sequel to Turbo Rally Kart Racing, and the generosity of these great companies. They support us, go support them.